Good morning, everyone. My name is Pamela Howard. I'm your luxury event planning specialist, and I am so excited. This is Winning Wednesday, and I just got on here this morning. We have been talking this month about using our five senses to be able to, when we're doing any type of event planning. So I want to clarify event. Okay, so an event is actually an occasion that happens. So this could be a business launch, it could be a book signing, it could be a product, service, or cause that you're trying to prepare for, and of course, it could be any type of social or corporate event as well. So we have talked about. I just want to recap a little bit about what we've talked about this month. We talked about uh, our vision, how seeing helps us in events. It we use as an example, and I love to use this analogy, is that we eat with our eyes first. So how things look to us processes in our mind of how they're going to already, possibly taste, or whether or not we even want to entertain what we're seeing. It's a first impression, what we see, the ambiance of everything. And we should take that in consideration as it pertains to our guests as well as to our brand. And then, of course, we talked about taste, which is the second most used sense that we have other than vision. Taste, again, I'm sorry. Let me back up. I said vision, hearing. Hearing is the second most sense that's used. So we see first and then we look. And we talked about how, when we have presenters or moderators or speakers, that are coming to our event, or if we're at an event that we're sharing with someone, we need to also make sure that the speaker is engaging and is in line with the whole ambiance of what we're doing. If you have a tropical theme and everyone is dressed up in white with accents of tropical lace or hibiscus, and then you have someone coming in talking about ice glaciers, and it's just not a good fit, right? So you want to make sure that what you're hearing is in sync with you, with what people see, including your audio and your visual, because things can happen. Have a plan B if your technical sound is not going well. And then, of course, the third is taste. Okay, we talked about taste. We talked about, everything is not necessarily, if the food is good, right? It's not all about, if the food is good. So, the taste should be a lot about the experience. Good morning. Thank you for joining. Please post your comment. Please post your comments in the post. I can't see any of the posts right now because I'm streaming from StreamYard, but I promise you, if you would just say who you are and where you're viewing from, and if you have any questions about, we're talking about using our five senses in event planning, and I clarified event planning as it could be any event that you are a part of. So it could be planning for your business strategies, planning for your brand, planning for a launch, um, corporate social events. It could even be a cause, service, or product. And we just went through all of the senses that we talked about, which includes seeing. We talked about hearing, and we were just talking about taste and how our taste should be all about the experience. It's not that easy. Oh, hire a good caterer and the food is good. No, it's about the experience as well. It's all about the experience, and it needs to coincide with your vision, the ambiance, what people see, and what people are going to hear. And today we're going to talk about touch. Okay, touch is all about your attendees. Okay, it's all about your attendees. Um, all about your attendees. So, for example, I know from a catering perspective because I co-own a full service catering company with my husband for over almost 18 years. And we believe in giving experiences people could see, taste, and experience. Okay? Giving services people could see, taste, and experience. Again, that's using three of the senses, right? So the experience, the touches, the taste is all about the experience. And then, of course, you want to be able to see everything, give an experience. So I shared that to say that, the reason why I brought that up is because as an event planner, when I'm working with a client or when I've worked with previous clients, I always ask them, what is your overall vision? What's your vision for your event? And what I was listening for is how I could relay the food and give the overall experience so everyone actually gets the vision of the actual guest of honor or, the person that, has hired us to be able to cater this event and plan this event. So with that being said, when it comes to touch, you know, sometimes people have what they call a cocktail hour, okay? And typically at a cocktail hour, there's little to no seating. So there's a lot of mingling, there's a lot of socializing, a lot. Sometimes there's food, sometimes there's drink, and you want to be able to offer a cocktail menu that is going to be easy for people that are mingling, standing, walking, and talking to be able to pick up and eat. We think about the main event that is to come. It hasn't came yet, so you have to understand how that item is going to feel in their hand. How they're going to be able to walk with that item. Is it going to be something that they can do in one bite? Are they going to have to have a spoon or any type of utensil? It's all about the things that the experience, for your attendees and how relatable it's going to be with the whole ambiance in the event. Um, in addition to that, for those of you that are attending events where you have to display your product, okay? So you want to have things interact, that interact with your attendee or the people that's coming to see your product, service, or cause. And the reason why is because you want them to be able to touch, feel, and experience, what it is that you have to display. Because the more that they can handle it, the more they're going to understand it, the more they're going to become more relatable with it, the more memorable it's going to be. They're going to see it, they're going to remember it, they're going to touch it, they're going to get an experience from it. And so whenever you're putting on some type of event, take in consideration the touch and feel of everything and the overall experience that they're going to receive. Okay, so I love weddings, and I am going to talk a little bit about the touch and feeling at different trade shows, particularly wedding shows as well. I used to produce the Wedding Affair Showcase, which was a local bridal show that was in Charlotte, North Carolina. And one of the things that I was really big on was experience and making sure that all vendors had either a tool or had a way to interact with their guests. And I'll never forget the very first Wedding Affair Showcase. Uh, I had a well-renowned baker. She's retired now, but she did a cake off, and it was a part of the bridal show where people could actually, I think there was. I forget how we selected it because this was years ago. I want to say maybe back in 2009, but I remember we selected three contestants, brides that actually came. It was the experience was all about DIYers. There's a lot of people DIY. I'm a DIY plan my wedding. I'm a DIY make my cake, and so it was all about. It was fun. It was interactive, but they got to experience the taste of the actual cake. They got to get an idea of what pastry chefs go to in order to put their cakes together. And so we supplied all of the tools to put the cake together. I mean, the cake was already baked, but they had the icing, they had the spatula, they had flowers, they had all kind of different types of edible confetti to put the cake together, and they had to do it in a certain amount of time. And it, the one that had it decorated the best was the winner, and basically they were able to win, something towards their wedding in regards to the cake. But again, I'm talking about the overall experience, the overall interaction, the touch and feel of it all, and the experience, of course, of the event. So touch is not it's the fourth scent that is most recognizable in use a lot. Um, and so, but it's also the shortest. I mean, it's not a lot to touch and feel. But I want to share something else about touch. When it comes to, I want to go back to your speaker. When you're speaking or whoever's moderating, or anytime you have any type of platform guest that plays a big role in your event, you know, touch is also a feeling. And you want to be able to touch your guests, you want to be able to touch your audience with your speaking and what you have to say and make sure that it's relatable. You want to be able to resonate. Sometimes, sometimes as entrepreneurs, if you have coaches, which I hope that you do, one of the things that we talk about as coaches is honing in on your story. You know, people buy your products and services based off of you and your story. You have to be relatable. Even when it comes to nonprofit organizations, people have to believe into your cause or your purpose. You have to be able to resonate with them. And that is a feeling, that is a touch. Okay? It's not a physical touch, something tangible, but it's also a touch and it matters. It matters in your event because if people cannot feel or relate or coincide or have symmetry with you, and then it's going to build up lack of confidence in your audience with yourself. Self-esteem is going to be down, and you really need to hone in on your story. Have something engaging. It's like when you have your speaker get up, or if you have a moderator or MC get up, you waiting to hear. You can tell at the very beginning, you're gonna be like, "Oh, this is gonna be good. I can't wait." You gotta have that hook, okay? And that hook is a touch, it's a feeling, and it's very important in your event, for your cause, for your product, for your service. Even when you are, trying to share, I don't like to say sell. So when you're trying to share your product, your service, or your cause, you know, what is your hook? What is your story? What is that one first impression that you're going to have that's going to be your hook, that's going to actually, you're going to be able to leverage from touch? And so we only 15 minutes in to this session, and so I would love to uh, see any comments that you have in here. If there's anyone that would like to be brought into the broadcast, then please type that in comments. I would love to be able to relate. This is not a 30-minute session. Unfortunately, it's not a 30-minute session. Touch, it is pretty cut and dry, just like all of the others. But I was so excited to talk about touch because it's more than just a tangible feeling, but it's also, something from inside. You have to be able to resonate with people in touch with your event. Very, very, very important. So, I would love to, I would love for you all that are listening to start making comments. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining. I can't see who you are, so please type in comment so that I can be who you are. We've been talking about, we have been talking about touch and how that relates to your event. Yes, I'm typing. Okay, let's see here. All righty. Okay. Now, uh, let's see here. That is all that I really have today in regards to touch and how you can utilize those in your event. I'm asking you, if you are joining me from YouTube, I'm asking you to like and share. And if you're on Facebook or a part of Plan, Process, and Strategy, I'm asking you to like this show and invite others to plan, process, and strategy. Um, this month has been a different month because I don't think a lot of people really focus on how our senses can actually play a huge part in our planning, okay? In our planning and in our processes and in our strategies as well. So I definitely would invite you to start utilizing your senses. And this coming next Wednesday, which is actually going to be the 24th, will be our last and final sense, which is smell. And we're going to talk about smell and how we tie all of that into our planning processes of any event. I'm asking you if you have any questions prior to that. Definitely submit those questions. Good morning to you that's viewing right now. Smell is it's going to be very interesting about the smells. I'm going to always reiterate things that I have said above, and all I'm gonna say about smell is that it can play a part in your memory. Okay, it can play a part in your memory. And when we're putting things together, we definitely want to be memorable, and we want to make sure that the event is memorable. And smell plays a big part in that, in your planning process and strategy. So 20 minutes in, I'm not going to hold your morning. I hope you enjoyed me for these few minutes. I didn't get a chance to grab my coffee or get any tea, but I hope you did. I'm looking forward to finalizing how we use our five senses in planning processes and strategies. And we will see you again on the 24th. Have a winning Wednesday. Oh, yes, make sure you post your wins. Post your wins. What is your wins on Winning Wednesday? What are you working towards? What was a win for you? Let me put that in comments. Post your wins. Post your wins on Winning Wednesday. Winning Wednesday, okay? Post your wins. Definitely. Definitely. Okay. Post your wins. Post your wins. You got to do that. Okay. Uh, anything else? If not, I will see you guys. I will see you guys on Wednesday for another Winning Wednesday. Make sure that you are also make sure that you are checking plan, process, and strategy. If you're not a member of that group, you definitely want to join. There is a nice, there's some nice strategies in there when you're planning things. There's some great tips and processes. So just hang in there with me. I really do appreciate your support. In closing, I will share. This week has been a very challenging week for me. For those of you that are aware of 2 years ago, I experienced a hijacking with my two daughters, and my husband and our car was stolen, and we were left stranded. And we were held at gunpoint. And this week was the week of the arraignment. So it was a very emotional week for me. And so some things have been off. I know that I did, I think I posted my Monday motivational, but my Tuesday tip I did not get to post on yesterday, so I do apologize for that. But I'm here today, which was a win for me. I was here, I have a smile on my face. I had an audience, and I'm going to have people on the replay. And I am so grateful to you today for joining me and showing the value in what I have. I appreciate you understanding and seeing the value in what I have in Pamela Plans and Consulting. So I do appreciate you to the utmost. I want you all to have a fabulous day. Post your wins. Let's talk about your wins, and I will be on the lookout for wins to share in plan, process, and strategy. Have a fantastic winning Wednesday.